to Scrum. For today, we have Talon of Frost and Boy. Let's begin by hearing from both on their thoughts of the game.
We should have 2-0'd. We got thrifty, I think, 4-5 times that series. Simply put, but we're not good enough. We didn't deserve to win. We're very undisciplined, and I keep saying it week after week, but now it bit us. That game, that series was worth 2 points, and to avoid the early knockout stage of the system. So now our champs potential is in serious jeopardy. And if we continue to be this undisciplined, we will probably struggle also in playoffs. Unlucky.
Yeah, general thoughts. Our expectation was to 2-0 DRX. We kind of fell short, a couple of mistakes, some actually really bad mistakes that costed us multiple rounds. As you said, us getting thrifty on Haven was very, very bad. And a lot of rounds were just chained from DRX after that because obviously the game was very close.
Not just one, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But the most, game losing one was our attack side thrifty. So that definitely affected our overall outcome of the series right there. And I think everyone already kind of felt the mood change once the map was kind of over. So yeah, it kind of carried over Icebox, obviously. So yeah, tough loss. As for the playoff potential, we don't get the free run by and the extra point, so that kind of stings. But I'm hopeful and that potentially we clean things up. That's the expectation.
Thank you. We'll move on to our pre-submitted questions. So for the question is for Frost. Tell us more about your map veto today. Your team stormed DRX in the first half of the map, pick Essence. Do you think DRX underperforming run gives your team any advantage?
They banned Lotus. I assume that was because of how good we looked versus DFM. And they must not be good at I mean, it's kind of obvious. New IGL, 3 bomb site map. 3 bomb site mats are going to hurt. Haven, for them, has always been strong, so I'm assuming that's why they felt comfortable enough. I was hoping, actually, that they'd pick it. They picked Ascent, which, funny enough, we had a plan for. The veto pretty much went it didn't go exactly how I thought. We thought that they would ban something else. They didn't. But for the most part, we got the exact 2 maps that we had prepped for and assumed that we would play. There was also some gymnastics that we did because of current problem that APAC is really having on the cheating side. So we, we set up traps. And everything worked out according to plan, other than us continuing to get thrifty and losing every opportunity to win games that we should close out pretty easily. So.
One more question. Your team had an aggressive play style today, but the team looked a bit disconnected, especially during the second half of the Haven. What were the challenges faced to crack into the bomb sites? How devastating the loss on Haven led to a 12-0 start in the first half against your team on Icebox?
Well, on Spike Talk with Baby Bay, I actually play around from Lotus that I think it was uploaded today, actually. That if you really want to know what happened on Haven, you can just go back and look at that. And that round literally happened on Haven. And I mean, when teammates aren't listening to each other and everybody wants to make a play and people want to be heroes without a cape, this is what's going to happen. I challenged Ban today. I thought that he needed to do more and be more. And I was, I think he performed okay, but I certainly think that he needed to be more of a difference maker today, and he wasn't. So we're going to get back to see what happened there and why that happened, because he's such an integral part of our team. And also, when people aren't listening to him, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you wouldn't.
For the next question is for you both. Your team has an excellent run with the new comps since the new patch is in place until tonight. Do you see any risk in further revealing your strats, considering your team has now made to the playoffs?
This Ascent comp that people keep talking about, I brought it to 100 Thieves. I brought it to Secret. Nobody wanted to run it. So this is an old comp, actually. The thing is, a lot of the things we're doing are old ideas that are now coming in. Our flexibility and our versatility is going to continue to happen. This is basically just the way you should be playing Valorant. We're basically a Dota team that is playing Counter-Strike, pretty much. So you're never going to know what type of picks and bans, and you can try to study and ante us all you want. But most of the time, we're going to surprise you unless we, feel like we don't have to. I'm not really afraid of showing too much. I think the unfortunate nature of the system just puts it to where, like today, this game was worth 2 points. So if we're going to show these new comps and we're going to catch people off guard, we need to actually convert. So that's probably the only disappointing thing. It's not so much that we don't have enough. We didn't even show everything today either. So, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Also to add on top of that, I think I think every team is willing to show, their creative side, but I think also to his point is, if you are showing these comps, these new ideas, you need to be able to close them out because that's the purpose of the pick. That's the purpose of the composition is to sort of, not necessarily cheese a win, but to also give you an advantage in some aspect versus the team you're playing against or a specific composition you're playing against. A good example is when we played against DFM and they pulled out a Cypher and a Deadlock comp on Lotus. But obviously, we're kind of familiar with that because in scrims, we have been playing against comps, wacky comps all over the place. I think China is very notorious for trying new things. They're actually the first region that showed us the ISO, and that's how we gained interest from the ISO. So yeah, that's just a good example. I think more teams should be doing, having a more creative side. And I think, we're one of the first few teams to pioneer that idea.
Next question is for you both as well. With all 6 playoff teams locked down this week, which 4 teams do you think will make it to the champions and why?
Before the season started, Talon did content and they asked me to predict who I think would be top 4, bottom 4. I predicted T1 would be about bottom 4. I also predicted we would be top 4. So my expectation on that hasn't changed. But certainly, if we do not keep making unforced errors, we may not be the 4th team.
Is the question directly on who's going to make the champs first or just general? 4 teams. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as him. I think if you want specific names, I can name them, but
pretty sure we're both agree. PRX, DRX, Genji.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we would be the 4th team. But obviously we can't be making mistakes like this, obviously. So I guess we'll have to see.
That's all for pre-submitted questions. We'll now open up the floor for live questions. Please use the hands raised feature if you would like to ask a live question. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.